very hidden because Enbridge has been here since the late 1940s. People have not generally known about it because it's all underground. It's the greatest story never heard. So we're an education group that wants to educate the people along the pipeline about the hazards of this pipeline. And there are many. Since 2007, the state of Wisconsin has experienced 3 spills. One in Adams County at about 60,000 barrels, one in Russ County at about 179,000 barrels, and another one in Clark County with another 60,000 barrels. Gone into land beyond easements. Obviously, Enbridge purchases land from individuals and they get a certain easement. So these are hazards to the public that we want people to know about. We're not trying to scare people. We're just trying to say, hey, this pipeline is going through your state. You're not receiving 1 cent. Douglas County does not get 1 cent from Enbridge. They don't pay any property taxes. Throughout all the 16 counties that the Enbridge Pipeline 61s go. Now I also want to talk about Pipeline 5, which also runs out of Superior across the northern states of Wisconsin, Douglas, Bayfield, Ashland, Iron County, and then it goes into the UP in Michigan and across the Straits of Mackinac, kind of under the bridge, under the water. There are films on the internet showing that line down the bottom of Lake Michigan kind of swaying back and forth. So we're also wanting to educate the people along Pipe 5. It goes through the Bad River Reservation, it goes across the Brule and other major bodies of water that could do a great deal of harm. We always point to, in 2010, there was a major spill in Michigan. The heart of it is Marshall, Michigan, but it spilled into the Kalamazoo River, spilling almost 1 million gallons of tar sands oil into that river, sending more than 200 people out of their homes, and more than that to hospitals with various skin irritations, eye irritations that came from the release of hexene, benzene, xylene, naphthalene, all of the leans, which do cause irritations. Now, when tar sand spills into the water, it floats initially. Then it'll off-gas these benzenes and hexenes, which are carcinogenic, into the air, and then the tar sands, which is mined up in Alberta, sinks to the bottom. Now this is not like the big spill in the Gulf of Mexico a few years ago, where it sits on top. Now that's hard enough on the environment and the people to clean, but when it sinks to the bottom, that is a major task. It took them almost a year to get the worst of it cleaned up. This happened in 2010. They're still cleaning it up. So it's not over. It cost Enbridge $1 billion. So we want to make sure that people know what risk they're taking. We're educators. We're not saying go out and take some action. We don't necessarily stop the pipeline, but we think that people ought to know. And Enbridge is not a transparent company. They do not claim what the chemicals are in the oil that allow this tar sands mined up in Alberta, strip mine, to float. It's like peanut butter. when they mine it. Now, are you going to suck peanut butter up through a straw? No, you're not. You would have to dilute it in some way. That's what they do. They dilute it, and those chemicals are the hexene, benzene, xylenes, and all of those hydrocarbon chemicals that do damage, especially if they're there for a long time. So we want people to know that there are these hazards out there. And what can be done, the wonderful people of Nebraska with the Keystone Pipeline, they have stopped it so far. People in Minnesota have blocked the Sandpiper, this new pipeline that's going through Minnesota, coming from the frack shale oil that they're taking out of the Bakken Formation. Very dangerous, volatile stuff, and they have stopped it from going through Minnesota because of the dangers to health, safety, and welfare. And it's said that Enbridge is probably trying to find another way around Wisconsin, which is fine with us. But that said, we would like two things to happen. We would like counties like Douglas, Bayfield, Ashland, Iron to send resolutions to the DNR asking for EIS reports, environmental impact statements, that'll really tell the people and the public servants what's going on in this line. Now, the DNR is at this point in time, is pretty locked in to a set of laws that was passed under Act 10. So they're not going to do very much. But it's very symbolic that we're working, 5 counties have already passed resolutions. We're working on the other 11, including Douglas, to make resolutions which will say the people want transparency, they want to know what's going on and what could happen to the environment. That, and then for all new pipes, like Pipeline 3, which is the extension of the Sandpiper coming in to the Calumet refinery that we just passed through over here, and the Enbridge oil tanks, that's new land. So the Enbridge is now taking, or has been taking, statements from the people about their worries about this pipeline. And it could be stopped in the same way that the Sandpiper has been stopped in Minnesota. So those two things we really want. Also, I'm sorry I'm being so wordy here, but there's a new pipeline that's coming that's it's very secretive, but we know of people in Wisconsin who have observed surveyors on their land, trespassing on their land to survey property for a new pipeline, which is Pipeline 66. So we want people to know about this, to be prepared. When the last petitions were signed with the DNR, coming from Enbridge, people were pretty much asleep. They didn't know about the pipelines. It's all underground, very secretive. So they didn't do anything. But now, the people, if they want to, they could take action against these pipelines. Now, are we going to wean people from oil immediately? No. Would we like it to be? Yes. Actually, I bought gas last night in Douglas County for a $2.89. I just about fell off my car seat. That's really cheap. Now, why is that? Well, the situation in the Mideast is such that Enbridge has a monopoly on the oil market. They're just pumping this tar sands oil in here, and they've got so much on hand that the oil price is going down. But it'll go up when the international market starts to correct. So don't be fooled by 289 gas, because it's going up. So,
So you're hoping to make this a better place for future generations of your own, like of your great-grandkids and kids, right?
Exactly. Well, I'm 80 years old. I am not going to see petroleum end in my lifetime. Why am I doing this? I am an open heart surgery survivor, and I just came up that hill too. And I am a cancer survivor. 5 years. I said to myself, I don't know how many years you have left, but do something for your kids and grandkids. Because I follow the Native American principle of planning for 7 generations. Not just the immediacy of what gas might cost today, but what is oil going to do 7 generations down the line if we're still here? God help us. So I want to do something for them, and that's why I'm here, and I will continue to do it until I join the ground with these fine leaves over here on the right.
So how long have you already been riding through the counties?
Well, I have ridden now through the full Walworth County in the south. Now I have come up to ride in Douglas, which is the other end of the 16 counties.
Okay.
And then what we work in this group, we don't dictate to anybody. We wait for counties to have an interest and then say, hey, would you like to come up? And then we'll do it. We're not going to beat people up, but my plan is to ride all 16 counties before I'm through. And so little by little, we're going to knock that off.
Do you have a time frame that you hope to?
Well, I would like.